Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Core Xfinity Series presented by Kim's Kups and more. We're here at the final race of the playoff round, the penultimate race for the season. But this one here will determine who is going to go to Auto Club next week with a chance at the title for their respective division, and who's just going to be racing for wins. This is, I mean, where you want to have it down here. This is the showdown here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Lone Star State is going to play host here tonight. A 90-lap race. Determine it. Right now, the way it looks, we got kind of 4 drivers in each division vying for their 3 spots. As in the Platinum division, Tommy Rhyne comes in 45 points ahead of the cut line. Jack Stoneman 9 points ahead. And then the cut line is tied. Cody Hemingway and Elwood come in tied on points. So, I mean, if anyone gets a win there, obviously they lock themselves in. No Shayne Therrien here in the field tonight. So it's going to be down to 4 there in the gold. Jake Loesch is locked in on points here tonight. Joe Sullivan is pretty good, 39 points ahead of the cut line. And then that cut line is Kelly Pointer is up by 7. Bronson Stafford not here tonight, so technically Kelly Pointer up by 17 over JP Phillips. But again, a win could certainly upset those tables as well. In the silver, Rhyne is locked in with his win early on in the first race of the playoffs. Josh Van Westen is up 16. Robert Kenny is up 14, and then Joey Cruz, the one that's down 14, would have been up above that cut line had he got the finish that he probably deserved last week. And then finally, in the bronze, Daltin Drummonds just about locked in 45 points ahead of the cut line. In fact, that he is pretty much locked in unless he finishes dead last here tonight, and everyone else beats him perfectly. But Jeremy Gainey 30 points ahead, Dan Phelps 12 points ahead, and then Jon Crain 12 points behind. Carline, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we're here at the Lone Star State, and man, we got a showdown here under the lights in Texas.
Yeah, a little bit of a showdown, coming down to the end of the season here, and obviously lots on the line for a few of those drivers out there trying to wrap things up and either win or get a great finish here for the season. But yeah, it's looking good so far, Carl, and it's going to be a good one. Texas always puts on a pretty decent race. High side, typically, I think it is this track, so we'll see how the track runs tonight since we are underneath the lights.
It was pretty interesting as our biggest winner in the regular season, or the one with the most wins coming into the playoffs here. Elwood had 4 wins on the season, none in the playoffs, and is currently exactly on the bubble here for the Platinum Division. Shayne Therrien, another one, 2 wins in the regular season, but not going to make it because he's not here tonight. And then Cody Hemingway has 2 wins now on the season. Well, he has 2 wins coming into the playoffs, and he's the other one tied with Elwood for that final spot in the Platinum. But I mean, even you look at the gold, Jimmy, we definitely have some drivers in the gold, including JP Phillips down there. He's down 17 points, but he can just jump up here and get a win and lock himself in and really put the hurt piece to somebody that's above that cut line right now. And we've even seen, silver drivers, bronze drivers really step it up here in the playoffs. But we got our starting order here for tonight, so why don't you give us a rundown of that 23-car starting order?
Rundown tonight of our starting order. It's going to be Elwood on the pole here tonight with Kelly Pointer on the outside. Cody Hemingway right behind him and Chad Coleman. Jack Stoneman, Joey Cruz. Tommy Rhyne and JP Phillips. Rhyne and Jake Loesch round out your top 10. Robert Kenny, Daltin Drummonds, Josh Van Westen, Grady Gherkin, Joseph Sullivan, Russell Black, Jon Crain, Dan Phelps, Jeremy Gainey, and James Malino for your top 20. And then the rest of the field is going to be Terry Jansen, Tyler Skozen starting on the back, and Luis Orduna as well.
So I mentioned 16 drivers here are playoff drivers looking for their spot in the championship round. But we do have 7 drivers that are not, and it was one of those drivers last week that jumped up and got his first ever core win, as Tyler Skozen was the one to finally crack through last week. Now, last time we came to Texas, he was kind of the the sorry luck loser at Texas. He was a very, very dominant car, and things didn't work out his way via his computer or connection issues, and he had to kind of sit out and suffer. Now it looks like tonight going to be starting towards the back of the pack, so got his work cut out for him, especially with all those playoff drivers wanting to get up there. But he played spoiler last week. Did we have a spoiler this week? Maybe Chad Coleman up there starting on the second row. Maybe you have a Grady Gherkin sneaking up there as well. So we'll see if there's a spoiler or if somebody from outside the bubble line can maybe sneak themselves in with a win. But either way, we're ready for some racing action here as the field is now pulling off and get that cleared away there. There we go, as we're getting ready for, again, 90 laps here on tap. This is the third and final race. Next week is the season finale at the beautiful Club Speedway. So we'll see who's going to be the top 3 in each division, the 12 finalists to represent their divisions and go racing for the championship here in season 6. But it's been a great season so far. We had a lot of really good races and a lot of really good finishes. I'm assuming this was not going to be any different. It's probably going to be a little bit of angst, a little bit of nerves out there. I would think this is not just going to be a walk in the park, Jimmy.
No, probably won't be a walk in the park. It should be a great race, though. I'm up in the sky. I'm going to visit the Goodyear blimp here tonight and get a bird's eye view of how the whole field is working out down here. So, got them all on the screen. They're like little ants, but I get to see all the action as these drivers will continue to work their way around the track. So, green is about to come out as they head down the front stretch. The green is in the air, and Alan Elwood gets on the loud pedal. Kelly Pointer, the only one up there, a little bit slow behind him getting the start, so outside line not getting a good run to start, but Alan Elwood will get the lead here going out of turn number 2.
You see all these different lines, and even Cody Hemingway dropping down to the inside line and looking for the lead here. He's going to get around Alan Elwood. Elwood's going to slide back here a little bit and lose a few positions on the start, maybe by design, just kind of hanging back there. Kelly Pointer is your leader, but side by side at the line with, get up there, side by side with Cody Hemingway, but now Kelly Pointer is going to get to the lead. Hemingway in second, Alan Elwood trying on the outside to get back up there. He's in third, Jack Stoneman right there in fourth, Tommy Rhyne in fifth. Jimmy, I know we've seen it kind of mixed up all over the place, these first 2 playoff races, but you got a gold driver leading, but then you got platinum. These 4 platinum drivers, they know what's on the line here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they all need to get a great finish, and obviously Kelly Pointer out there wanting to just have a great race and possibly stack himself a win here. Kelly's kind of up and down through the series, depending on the track, but right now Alan's looking to get around him by going down to the inside here, down the backstretch, heading down to turn 3. Gonna make that pass here pretty easily this time around, and Cody Hemingway is gonna make their way as well. So yeah, some just easy racing here going on, and the thing is, getting out front, you can burn up your tires pretty quickly here at Texas, so around 10-15 laps. So and then when your car really starts handling differently, so gotta be careful how hard you push this car, because it can get pretty comfortable early on, and then the next thing you know, pushing like a dump truck.
Well, as it stands in the gold division with Bronson Stafford not here tonight, Kelly Pointer is ahead of the cut line by 17, and that's over JP Phillips. So we'll see if that is enough. Certainly he would love to get up there and get a win and really easily secure himself into that final playoff spot. But I mean, it's been 15 grueling races so far this season. This is race number 16, and then 17 next week is going to complete the season. But we still got a lot to decide here tonight. Another one certainly to keep an eye on here, the 028 of Joey Cruz. He was in line for a great finish last week. We'll probably put him above that cut line, but late race drama put him back in the pack as he got tangled up with, I believe it was our eventual race winner. I know it was up towards the front. I know he was up in the top 5, but here tonight he comes in 14 points behind Robert Kenny in the silver division. So looking to try and get up there and mixed up already in the top 10. He's got Robert Kenny back there in 12th. So I mean, it's We get the, there we go. We got the time score up there. Now you can see all those platinum drivers at the top, the gold kind of mixing up right there in the middle. Joe Sullivan is the gold driver towards the back, but, you know, he comes in with a pretty sizable lead. 49 points is the advantage for Joe Sullivan over JP Phillips. So just about locked in on points is Joe Sullivan as well. But anything can happen here at Texas. We'll see how it plays out. But so far, so good. 8 laps, or 7 laps in the books. We're racing here on lap number 8. Closest battle right here on the track, and it's between 2 drivers in the same division right here in the silver, with Rhyne already won the first race of the playoffs. They're in that 34, and then the 034 right there behind him, Robert Gainey, and then Joey Cruz right there in 12th position, and only 2 spots behind them. You got Josh Van Westen trying to make it up there as well, but getting passed by last week's winner, Tyler Skosen. Already the biggest mover of the race, up 8 spots.
Yeah, I just think maybe Tyler just had a bad qualifying lap, or just missed it in general. Usually runs okay here, so let's see if he can work his way up to the front. Definitely going to be a challenge after you get through the battlefield here, as that's about where he's at right now, mid-pack here, working his way towards the front. Might give somebody something to move for. Seen some of these cars moving around just a little bit. Joey Cruz falling back 7 spots, and I don't know if he's just trying to conserve his tires, or he overdrove super early and is falling back a few more as Tyler looks to the inside of Joey Cruz here. Take that spot away, and 1 more spot to Tyler's pallet here tonight.
Another driver to keep an eye on, not in the playoffs, but he was back last week, and as soon as I talk about him, he smacks off the wall here a little bit, but keep an eye on that at 064 of Russell Black, as he came back into the series last week and had a fine effort. I think he might actually been the one that got involved with Joey Cruz in that race, but either way, the 064 was fast last week at Phoenix, and ended up coming home with a podium on his return, finishing in 3rd, with Jack Stoneman, the one sandwiched in there in 2nd place. But we got a long way to go here tonight. Certainly going to be a few pit stops involved as well, but Alan Elwood has moved himself back up in the lead, 0.6 of a second in front. Cody Hemingway, Jack Stoneman for your top 3. Then you got Kelly Pointer, Tommy Rhyne for your top 5, Chad Coleman, JP Phillips, Jake Loesch, Brady Gherkin, and Robert Gainey for your top 10. And you look at that 5 out front there, Jimmy, and you look at the first 2 races that Alan Elwood's had in these playoffs here. Certainly last week was another race that he soon would love to forget. I mean, he came in with the most bonus points out of anybody into the playoffs, and it's been an abysmal first 2 races, but do you really think you're going to keep that 5 down for 3 straight races?
I mean, I don't know, Carl. I mean, anything can happen here. If we go green long enough, then he finds himself wrapped up around that lap traffic, and it's being able to manage that and get through and not get caught up in some of these wreck. But it's still early here on lap 14. Pit stops are always in people's mind. Are we going to go green the whole way? When should I pit? Is he going to come in early? Is he going to stay out? Is he going to do 2 pit stop? Can he go long enough and do 1 pit stop? There's all kinds of things on the table here, and whether they're burn up their tires or what it may be. And a lot of times we see them late cautions where the tires, that's why drivers are trying to kind of leave a set of tires just for the end, just so they don't get burnt on a bad finish because of tires. And that's, I guess, the one thing I always hate about ovals. You get a late caution, you group everybody up, and just because somebody's saved some tires or forgot to check tires, they get that huge advantage. And the road racing, we talked about it as the tires wear down. That's definitely not a disadvantage for the road racers. So it just kind of stinks for the ovalers that they have to put up with that and have a set of tires just to kind of have a race kind of taken away from them because they didn't have a set of tires at the end. But it is what it is when it comes to oval racing. Cody Hemingway getting a little bit loose, Jack Stoneman to the outside, so not too wide there for 2nd place, grouping up 3rd and 4th as well as looks like Tommy Rhyne trying to get around Kelly Pointer as well.
Yeah, some good battling up here in the top 5 here. And Tommy Rhyne, another one that is pretty much locked in on points, comes in 45 points ahead of the cut line, as mentioned. So, you know, if he keeps it anywhere in the top 5, let alone the top 10, I mean, really keeps it on the track, and he's got a really good shot of making it in here. But, again, if you look at somebody else in that platinum getting the win here, so if you got Alan Elwood getting the win, he's got to make sure he finishes well and ahead of Cody Hemingway. He's kind of got 2 guys that he's looking at and eyeing, and right now he's seen them both in his windshield. He's got Cody Hemingway straight in front of him. They're battling to hold on to second place with Jack Stoneman, and then he got Alan Elwood trying to walk away here a little bit early. 1.5 seconds is the gap out front, as we got a good battle back here. Again, Russell Black trying to make his way through the field, as he is up 3 spots now into 13th. Last week's winner, he's back in Texas, and we talked to him last week about it. If he's got any kind of animosity, if the win last week kind of took it off his shoulders, he's still, I think the wound is still fresh, even though it was a season ago. The wound of what could have been at Texas for his first win didn't come to pass, and Tyler Skosen started second last on the field, really started shocking on the field because Louis Verduna not out here tonight. And he's up 12 spots right now. Cracked the top 10. He's got Grady Gurkin now in front of him.
Yeah, we're going to way through the field. I said plenty of things going on, and something's going on back there.
JP Phillips in the pits, and a black flag entering. That is not going to help his chances here tonight. Again, didn't need a win, but needed a very, very good finish compared to his bold compatriots. And a black flag entering, going to be a 40-second hold. He's going to need some major help in the rest of this race.
And not what you wanted to have here is we get down into the first quarter of this race. Got 21 laps in the books right now. I don't know what's still out front with Jack Stoneman, Cody Hemingway, Tommy Rhyne, and Kelly Pointer for your top 5. But yeah, that is not what you want to see. As a driver, just one little mistake. We talk about the pit stops all the time, and something like that can make or break your race, or even a championship run, dude.
The battle here for third as Jack Stoneman moved around. Cody Hemingway got in the second. Now it's a battle for third between Hemingway and Rhyne, and Rhyne's going to get the best of him. Move himself into second. So now you take a look at the top of the boards, and Texas is bringing out all the players here. As you got the 4 drivers in the platinum are your top 4 right now. Kelly Pointer hanging right there with him, doing a really good job here in 5th. But don't count out a sneaky run here from Chad Coleman here once again, trying to play spoiler in that 138. We've seen him very fast in that Kit Kat number 138 over several different races here. But these drivers are watching that 5 walk away right now. 1.75 seconds is the lead here for the 5 of Alan Elwood. He doesn't want to see any kind of flags other than that white flag and checker flag for the rest of the way. No cautions here on the mind of the 5. He's got the speed, and he wants to show it here tonight.
Yeah, he's trying to, obviously, he's out front. He has nobody bugging him. Nobody racing him. He's just out there doing laps. So, I mean, you got Stoneman, Rhyne, Pointer, Hemingway all battling out back there, just allowing the 5 just to kind of stretch his legs. And they can only hope that he has a bad pit entry, or a caution comes out to kind of close that gap and get a run for the money. Stoneman and Rhyne are, I think, just as fast, and can probably keep up with Alan, but with them battling each other has definitely allowed Alan to kind of get out to a small lead here. But we're only on lap 24, Carl. Plenty of racing remains as we're going into the night here at Texas.
I wonder if Hemingway kind of burned up his stuff a little bit on the early run here, because he's starting to fall back here, now back in 5th and already getting threatened by Chad Coleman here to go back into 6th position. And he's the one that is tied with Alan Elwood coming into tonight. So if Alan goes on to win this thing, he's going to have to beat Jack Stoneman by a good, 4 or 5 positions, depending on where they both end up finishing, to lock himself in. And right now, he's got a car in between him and Stoneman, and it's the wrong way. He's got to try and figure out something. Plenty early in the race yet. We're not even a third of the way done, but just some early reactions here, looking at what can happen. Luckily for Jeff Rhyne, he got his win in the first race of the playoffs because he got a black flag entering as well. The marshals at the end of pit road or at the beginning of pit road are not messing around here tonight.
Playing around at all, and throw that caution flag and definitely end up putting some people down. See, still
Another
18
one,
drivers on
3 in a row, Jimmy.
Coleman.
3 black flags in a row. We've seen JP Phillips come in the pits, black flag. We've seen Jeff Rhyne come in the pits, black flag, and another one now. Chad Coleman in the pits, he gets a black flag, and it's not everyone. We've seen other drivers. Looks like Terry Jansen came in, had to get some repairs done and get back out there. Joey Cruz has made his first pit stop as well, and now Jeremy Gainey in the pit lane as well. So it's not everybody, and now we got some more leaders coming in. Alan Elwood, Cody Hemingway, and Grady Gherkin into the pits this time, but man, some drivers trying to get anything and everything, and it's costing them big time here. And it looks like actually, maybe it was mistaken. It showed a black flag for me for Coleman, but I'm only seeing a 17-second pit stop, so maybe he didn't have a black flag. Maybe it was just a gut reaction from SDK saying, oh yeah, another pit, another black flag. But no, not the case. Okay, so we're good. Oh, what a save there from Tommy Rhyne coming in the pits, and I'm seeing 2 more black flags, Jimmy. I'm seeing Jake Loesch with a black flag. I'm seeing Tyler Skosen with a black flag. What is going on with entry here tonight?
Yeah, I'm seeing Loesch and Drummonds.
I'm sorry, yeah, Drummonds. Yep, Drummonds. And that is, it's not horrible for Drummonds considering he comes in 45 points out of the cut line. But you still don't want to mess around here. You never know what happens if, again, if Jon Crain, lucks himself into a win here tonight. You never know what happens. So mistakes, and a lot of drivers making mistakes here on entry. I haven't seen anything, down pit road speeding or exiting pit road. It's been all entry, and it's eating these drivers up. But we still got 2 drivers out there have yet to come into the pits. Josh Van Westen out there yet, trying to get a lap led. The bonus point will count towards the overall season points, not for the playoffs. No bonus points in the playoffs. But now in will come Josh Van Westen. Jimmy, are you surprised the only one that stayed out is now finally coming in the 76, Joe Sullivan?
No, obviously trying to break the 30 laps, and this year would be the 30 laps completed as they will cross the line here at the start lap 31. So putting them in the window of only needing to stop for 1 more time. Verwys 2 for a lot of these drivers if they come in lap 27, 26, 28. So a little bit less saving there by the 76 for the rest of this race.
I like the strategy there, and I'm not surprised that both Van Westen and Joe Sullivan doing it, but caution on the speedway, and you see it right there, the 4 of Daltin Drummonds, and just going from bad to worse here as 4 had the pit road penalty. Let's see what happened here, and
just lost it.
well, I said it, Jimmy, so I apologize to Daltin Drummonds, because I just said we've seen all these penalties on the entry, and of course now we have an incident on the exit. And luckily there for the 5 Alan Elwood, he noticed it and stayed up out of the way. Now, here's the interesting part, because these drivers will be able to save a little bit of fuel here under caution, but he only had those 2 drivers make it to lap 30. He had a few drivers that made it to lap 29, but does anybody there come in from the front here to top off on fuel, seeing that maybe you can stretch this thing out on only 1 more pit stop from here if you come in here? I mean, it's you've already been in 3, 4, 5 laps ago. I almost feel like you kind of have to at least come in and top off. I mean, you're going to give up track position most likely because you're going to have guys that are going to stay out, but you kind of have to, don't you?
You don't have to. You don't
have to do whatever you want. I know, I got it. But should you?
We're gonna see how well these drivers feel about their competitors, and whether they can go green the rest of the way. And it does look like you got a few takers. And Alan Elwood might be one of those cars that now needs to save. But there's some drivers that are staying out. A lot of people staying or going in. Cole Hemingway, Rhyne,
half the field.
Pointer, Gherkin, Cruz, Black, Phelps, Crain, Van Westen, Loesch. They know what's up. I mean, they're not going to have to save at all. They'll be able to run outright. So, you know, Elwood's going to need that run to, you know, be short. Another guy from the co-op.
Now, Jimmy, who did this caution help out? JP Phillips. JP Phillips, big help here for the 78 as he's going to get his lap back. He's going to bring it into pit lane, and he'll be back on schedule with everybody that has come in here. Be back on the lead lap. This is a big break here for the 78. Still, again, plenty chance to get himself into the mix here. He comes in 17 points behind Kelly Pointer, but Pointer's been very good tonight. He's been up in the top 5 now. Pointer did come in there on lap 32, last lap to top off. He's back there in 8th position right now. So we'll see how everything shakes out. We're only a third of the way through this race. I mean, I know we're talking about fuel mileage and pitting and everything, and we got 60 laps to go in this race, but you kind of have to. Yeah, you have to game plan. You have to look at the end game and try and, you know, work it back from there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're in on the championship run with the possibility of being able to win, you better be starting thinking like that, like the whole race. Obviously, driving clean and making good decisions, but that pit stop is huge, Carl. Huge.
Now, if you're one of these drivers in the you know, in the Platinum division, obviously they see all the competitors right up here as well. But you know, again, Jack Stoneman 9 points ahead of Hemingway and Elwood, and Hemingway obviously tied coming in here. Are you watching them? Are you watching what they do? Are you trying to figure out how am I going to beat them in the long run? How am I going to try and, you know, best them? Are you trying to figure out, you know, anything based off of them? Or are you just going out there? This is my strategy. This is how I'm going to race. This is, you know, my pace. This is what I'm going for. And if it works, it works. If not, then I go home. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you have to run your race, you know, and if you don't have the speed here tonight to keep up with some of the drivers that do, you just got to stick to your strategy, keep it clean, keep it safe, and hopefully luck will roll your way. You know, you never know what's going to happen. I'm seeing a lot of bronze drivers up towards the front at the moment, so anything can happen when you get some greener fields at the front here, as the playoffs are on the horizon here in just, next week, right?
Next week, yeah, next week we head to Auto Club for the season finale, but we're going to get this thing back under green here, back to the restart zone. Alan Elwood going to control him here, and we are racing again at Texas, where we have a nice green flag run now for the rest of the way. Will we see any more cautions? Check out the stick here and find out. But right now, Alan Elwood gets a good start. Jack Stoneman right there in second. Tyler Skosen in third. As we got a little bit going on, not too far behind him. Still 3 wide on the backstretch. As Molyneux and the inside there getting into Grady Gherkin a little bit as he's starting to slide back. And now maybe going to calm down a little bit here, but you definitely see some drivers maybe taking some tires on the previous pit stop, trying to get them up and working. Some drivers coming in, topping off on fuel. It's getting racy here, and we're not even at the halfway point just yet, but out front, it is Alan Elwood, Jack Stoneman, Tyler Skosen, Robert Kenny. Big move up here for the 034, now currently in 4th position, so that is as big for Kenny as he was the one just above that cut line, 14 ahead of Joey Cruz. And then you got Kelly Pointer rounding out the top 5. Brady Gherkin, Joey Cruz, Jeremy Gainey, Joe Sullivan, and James Molyneux for your top 10. But it is anyone's game right now, but you got to figure out first how to try and get up there and best that 5.
Yeah, I mean, Alan's just out there kind of cruising. He needs to make sure that he can save a little bit. I think he needs to save just a little bit of fuel. Not much, I don't think. I think just kind of some easy corners to be able to pick up that extra lap or so that he needs for to only be one more stop here with the rest of everybody. But I think it's going to be really close for Alan, so he should be fine. You know, thinking about when he came in, and they're just kind of thinking of his pit strategy. If I was out there, and you know, he's got the pace to kind of, you know, run a lot less throttle than some of these drivers and be at almost the same lap times. So I don't want to be worried too much about Alan. It's just if he can save enough to be able to battle somebody to the end here. So we'll see if he can do that. But those laps in situation will come here in the future. Right now, just kind of looking at the field call. Everything's looking pretty good. Some two wide action back there behind James Malino and gang, but JP Phillips and Tommy Rhyne towards the back.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as seeing a big moment there for the 94 of Molyneux, so let's take a look at that. But yeah, our platinum drivers that were 1, 2, 3, 4 for the longest time for that whole first run are now 1, 2, 13, 17. It is a big disparity now for all our drivers, but mainly Cody Hemingway. He needs to take it up there. He is, again, I can't say it enough, tied with Alan Elwood coming in, and one of them is most likely going to go home, unless Jack Stoneman has a bad rest of this race. One of them is going to go home, whether one of them wins or not. So Cody Hemingway needs to figure out how to get himself back up there and at least back settled into the mix. But plenty of racing still to go. We're only through 40 laps, 50 more to go, as Elwood has a 4/10 of a second lead out front. We got a couple other drivers that we've been watching here. One of them, Tyler Scozen, mentioned him several times here tonight. Watch that 55, started in 22nd. Jimmy, he's up to third.
Yeah, I don't know. He says sometimes he doesn't like a track, and then, how it happens, and, they're going to find themselves up front. And I don't know if it's a smoke screen or some of the other drivers like, oh, we don't have to worry about Tyler. But, Tyler's been pretty consistent. That's why he's where he's at, and the points and the division that he's in. And has had the shine here and there, and that the ability to win. And getting a little better, I think, each and every week. And obviously, once you start revisiting a lot of these tracks, these drivers get really familiar and more comfortable driving around a lot of these tracks. So right now it's still, I don't know, over Jack Stoneman, Tyler Scozen, Kelly Pointer, and Grady Gerken.
I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe to get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as we've still got plenty of racing for you this week. Let alone, I know we only got one more race here for the Core Xfinity Series presented by Kim's Cups and more, but we got a lot of series that are kind of just 2, 3, 4 races in, so we'll see how it works out. But mainly tonight, I want to shout out to my co-commentator, all the veterans out there. I want to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day out there, and thank you for your service and everything that you've been through in support of this country. I can't thank all of you enough. We always thank the supporters out there, but without you guys and gals supporting us in the military, we wouldn't be able to sit back and enjoy this racing that we have right now.
Yeah, Carl, it's kind of, the veterans that go out there and spend the time away from family to do the things they do, whether it's on the front line or in a back room, a secret room, or whatever it may be. It's just every little bit counts. And I guess the big thing is not everybody can do it. I know a lot of people try it. A lot of times when I'd have a junior, like I was in the Navy, so a lot of times when I have a junior sailor, they'd talk, they'd be, hey, chief, I'm trying to, what should I do? And I'm not quite liking this job, blah, blah, blah. What are my options? I'm like, your options is to basically just do your time, and then when you're done, you're done. Just at 4 years or 3 years after your contract, you sign, and then you walk. And so not everybody can do it, and sometimes they try to do the things that you shouldn't do to get out, and it's usually not the fastest way out. Sometimes it can drag on even longer. You don't want to be in a legal hold for sure. But yeah, I definitely shout out to all the veterans out there, and I appreciate everybody for the giving us the shout outs and the thank yous and all that stuff. It's kind of, I don't know what to say. This is something that I did for 24 years, and I do it all over again just to keep do my part for to keep our freedom and in the world and all that stuff. So yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't know what else to really say besides thank you.
Well, we are just past the halfway point here tonight, and coming around the corner not too long from now is going to be the second round of pit stops. But while we got a little green flag rolling here again, we're going to go ahead and step aside, give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it. Sights and sounds here from the Core Xfinity Series presented by Kim's Cups and more as we're on our second round of pit stops. And speaking of that, our leader now into pit lane. Alan Elwood first to come in from the top. Jeremy Gainey in pit lane and another black flag. I feel like this is like Sunday nights with 191, except it doesn't have the little meatball in the middle, which is definitely a good thing. But we're seeing almost seems like as many. Well, definitely not as many. I mean, there's so many meatball flags on Sunday nights. It's ridiculous. But this is not going to help Jeremy Gainey. I mean, another one can't afford to, not have such a good race. Comes in 30 points ahead of the cut line, ahead of Jon Crain, but he still can't mess around too much. And now we see already Daltin Drummonds having the issues early on, and now we see Jeremy Gainey with the same thing. So we'll see how everything plays out in the back half of this race. We're coming up on 2/3 its distance, and see who can make it to that lap 60, 61, 62 to give him a good shot of finishing out the end. What we're seeing here from Alan Elwood, unless he's got it and he's just short pitting, he came in early. He's with that kind of fuel, he's going to need to make it 33 laps on that last run.
Yeah, and that's, I think, stretching it a little bit, Carl. Obviously, I think around 30, 31, I think, is the magic number. And right now, a lot of these drivers hitting the 60-lap mark right now. So, I'm going to say they're going to be coming in here soon. But obviously, not too worried. I mean, holding some of those drivers a lap down at the moment, if a caution were to fly, there's a lot of unhappy people back there right now. It is Sullivan on the lucky dog bubble. As he has just come out of the pits. Elwood back there in 15th currently.
Stoneman out in front of him. So it looked like a long pit stop there for Alan Elwood. 23 seconds in his box. So not sure if he had damage he needed to get repaired or what the case was, but that's put him quite a bit behind Jack Stoneman here. Stoneman, Sullivan, and Elwood were the drivers that have come into pits. And Jimmy, all the drivers up there in the top 10 right now. Well, we got about half of them coming in this time by, but the reason they're still out, they came in under that last caution, lap 32, 33, topped off on fuel, and two of them that did, Rhyne, Cody Hemingway, as they are now second and third. They are well and past the 2/3 mark here. Far enough, Jimmy, that I don't even know if they'll have to save anything on the final run here to the checker. This should be their last pit stop. You see Hemingway and Rhyne coming down in there. Kelly Pointer also in. Looks like Russell Black is going to come in. Dan Phelps right behind him. So everyone coming in, but Kelly Pointer, another one coming in, a black flag, and this is not going to help here as, again, Pointer was on that bubble. He's 17 points ahead. Trying to take a look here. Yeah, 17 points ahead of JP Phillips. Going to help JP, but JP still needs to kind of finish strong here. He's been hard in the back there a little bit. He's 14th right now. Should slide up through the field here with these drivers coming into pit lane, but man going to cycle out as your leader, Jack Stoneman. And this is exactly where he wants to be. He would love to finish out this playoff round with a win, carry in a little bit of momentum going into Auto Club, lock himself into that one of those 3 spots in the Platinum Division. He's got a 3-second lead over Tyler Sullivan, who has got his hands full right now with Alan Elwood right behind him. Grady Gherkin, Tommy Rhyne rounding out your top 5, and then you got Joe Sullivan. Definitely a good bounce back from the start of the race. He started back in 15th. He's now up 9 spots into 6th. Top running gold driver right now. Robert Kenny, Joey Cruz, Cody Hemingway, and Josh Van Westen for your top 10.
Yeah, good run here for the drivers. Pit cycle is complete. They're still, looks like Jack Loesch was on lap 54, and it was just pretty early, so a lot of these drivers making it past the 60 mark. Stoneman, Sullivan, Elwood, 58, 59, 57.
Yes.
Kind of concerned.
Yes.
About that.
Elwood making it by Tyler Sullivan right there, so we'll see how this thing plays out. Again, maybe they are good. Maybe they're good for 35 laps, and everybody was just coming in and getting short pitting done. But to me, judging by when they came in on that first green flag run, I don't know. I would think if you could make it to 30, you would have made it, and a lot of these drivers didn't. So to make it 33 laps, 32 laps, 31 laps, maybe for Sullivan, pitting on lap number 59 there, maybe he can stretch that thing out. Maybe that's why he's letting Jack Stoneman kind of stretch away. I think that's why he let Alan Elwood by without fighting too much. He's trying to make sure he can save it to the end. But keep an eye on the battle right here. Cody Hemingway trying to follow Joey Cruz up through the field. Here, 7th and 8th. Hemingway can't mess around. He doesn't need a win, but he needs to beat Alan Elwood to give himself a really good shot. Or, again, if something were to happen to Jack Stoneman, like not making it on fuel, could very well put him in there as well. So, I mean, this is what you want to see, Jimmy. I mean, we said it before, you know, when it comes to like the Core GT, when they come down to their final race and it's double points and the points are really close, and you love it, you know, when a championship comes out in the end. We're not even at the championship race yet. We're at the final round of the playoffs, and we're trying to figure out who the top 3 are going to be in each, and it's already fantastic.
Yeah, it's, you know, because the drivers are, you know, able to run so many green flag laps here, Carl, and obviously the stewards down there in pit lane have snagged a couple of our favorite drivers. They got the black flags here tonight, but still some good racing going on throughout the field. The battlefield is still pretty tight. Joey Cruz, Hemingway, Westen, Gainey, all in a big battle back there, so running nose and tail, but looking good for the whole field. But I'm hearing some saving going on by that number 5.
I think he needs to save quite a bit, but you know, if you're Alan Elwood right now, again, same thing. Don't need a win. A win would certainly lock you in, but you don't need a win. You need to beat Cody Hemingway is what you need to do. And right now, he's got a 5.5 second lead over Hemingway. It's not a lot, especially if he's going to be saving fuel here all the way to the end. I think it's going to close in a lot more. We got 21 laps left in this race. Maybe he thinks he can just save a ton, save 2-3 laps right now, and then be able to go at it after that. But Cody Hemingway pin on lap number 62, so he's going to have 5 lap more tires than Alan Elwood once he gets there as well. So not playing well right now for the 5 of Alan Elwood, but you never know. We still got 30 laps there, or 20 laps to go here in this race. But it's going by quickly. These drivers are hammering down right now. And we mentioned earlier, Jimmy, that the top 4 were all platinum drivers. Well, they're all back. 4 out of the top 5 right now, with a little pickle that could mixed up in there as well. Grady Gherkin up there in second, trying to run down Jack Stoneman. Gherkin hit on lap 61. Do we have a pickle victory here tonight?
There's always a possibility. Grady's always been really good at running a lot of tracks. One would say that he should be probably a platinum driver, in my opinion. You know, just not having the season that he could have had in a lot of races. You know, they're getting caught up in a wreck or whatever. Just things not going the way for the 46. 46, just as quick as a lot of cars out there, just haven't found his groove this season, but looking to maybe get one in here tonight.
Yeah, Gherkin is a platinum driver, but just didn't make the cut to get into the playoffs. I think it was the first one out. I know him and Dave Tilford were very close. Tilford is another one that, you know, it's a very good driver, and even Danny Ware, when he was with us, a good driver out there. But there's so many good drivers. To cut him down to 5. You're leaving out good drivers, plain and simple. But right now, we're seeing that lead for Jack Stoneman dwindle down. It is down to 0.6 of a second now from 0.5. I think Stoneman realizes now, I need to figure out how to make this thing to the end, because he seems to be saving quite a bit. That lead is dropping very quickly as Gherkin now right on his back bumper, 0.4 of a second in between. Alan Elwood has now dropped all the way back to 7th position. Cody Hemingway in front. What a turn of events.
Well, Cody Hemingway up to P4, and Alan Elwood really trying to stretch it out now, saving as much as he can. 15 laps to go, and you know, it's you look at the track map and obviously the race spread out, and I'm sure we'll hear, you know, people with the fuel mileage game or the races, and it doesn't really matter how much fuel you put in the car. there's always going to be some sort of fuel on long green flag runs. Whether it's fuel or tires, it's definitely a fine line, and drivers sometimes like the 50%, some like a full tank, but I would rather be forced to come in and change tires at 50% than try to stay out on tires for a full tank. I know a lot of drivers cannot do that.
Well, Jack Stoneman has lost the lead to Grady Gurkin, but again, it's not really the big moment of it here. It is trying to get, I think, to the end. Again, I keep going back to the points, but it's big. It's what tonight is all about here. Jack Stoneman coming in 9 points ahead of Cody Hemingway and Alan Elwood. So, I mean, I think Elwood maybe realizing he's got to make it to the end and hope Jack Stoneman runs out of fuel. And maybe that's the way that Stoneman or Alan Elwood can sneak in by beating Stoneman by enough to overtake him. But right now, Grady Gurkin, he should have enough fuel to make it to the end. Cutting in on lap number 61. He's got the lead by half a second. More importantly, a second over Tommy Rhyne, who has 1 extra lap of fuel, pitting in at lap number 62. Same thing with Cody Hemingway back there in fourth position right now. But more importantly, they right now would be the top 3 going to Auto Club for the championship in the Platinum Division. Joey Cruz doing what he needs to do. He's up here in the top 5. He's running in 5th right now, but it may not be enough because Robert Kenny right there in 8th position. Now he does have 1 silver driver back there towards the back in 18th, but unfortunately Jeff Rhyne already has a win and he's already locked himself in here. So Joey Cruz top of the boards in the silver, but may not be enough. So it is very tough. You need to make it. I mean, there's 3 races. You can't really have an off night.
Yeah, Van Westen just watched me. Slap that wall pretty hard. But I was going to go flying, but I was able to keep control. Definitely not what he wants to keep doing lap after lap for sure. Just to let that car get a little bit tight to kind of, slap that wall, exit in the corner. So just take it easy there, Josh. This thing's almost down to the end. 10 laps to go on lap 80 and 90. Of 90, Grady Gurkin out front over Tommy Rhyne, chasing him down. Jack Stoneman there in P number 3. Cody Hemingway has found himself in 4th. Joey Cruz in 5th. Joe Sullivan in 6th. Josh Van Westen in 7th. Robert Kenny in 8th. JP Phillips in 9th. Russell Black back in 10th. Dan Phelps at 11th. Alan Elwood all the way back to P number 12.
And now going to be P number 13 as Alano looks to the outside here, and more importantly, he is about half a track behind your leader right now. 16 seconds behind the leader of Grady Gurkin. Gurkin started back there in 14th position, so he's figured it out when it comes to the race trim here tonight to get out front. But it's got a familiar foe right behind him, the 66 of Tommy Rhyne, hunting him down. It'll be 8 laps to go when we hit the line. Tommy would certainly love to get through, get a win here tonight, lock himself in, and make it 2 Rhynes locking themselves in with a win in the playoff round. He's got to get around to Grady Gurkin. We've seen him work on Gurkin plenty of times in UCRL. We've seen him do it a few times even here in the Core Xfinity Series. It looks like he's got the speed. He's got maybe the tires as well. You got 1 lap new tires. It's not much, but any little bit counts. As they're coming up on a little bit of lap traffic, we'll see how much Tommy wants to push for the win here tonight.
Yeah, probably not too much. Just take it if he gets it. It does look like the 46 is going to slide up the track and get the inside with 66 of Tommy Rhyne is going to make that pass. So move 66 up to the point here over the 46 of Grady Gurkin. Grady Gurkin still in a great spot here tonight, though. And P number 2 is, all these positions are just great here with a lot of these drivers. I mean, there's so much talent out here, and they kind of bring it down to, being able to save fuel, be fast, fuel being king here tonight at Texas. Right now, 11 in the wall. That was a tough one there as Jon Crain held it steady to keep it up there and not come down across the front of the leaders.
It's like Jake Loesch, Jeremy Gainey in to pit lane, and Crain is trying to figure out a way to point himself in. He comes in 12 points behind Dan Phelps. But unfortunately for him, Dan Phelps having a fantastic race up here in 11th position. Pit on lap number 62, so he should be good to go on fuel. So Crain is a second running bronze driver, but he could be on the outside looking in as it stands right now. But out front, 5 laps to go for Tommy Rhyne. He's out in the lead, looking to again join his brother with wins here in the playoff races, as Jeff Rhyne got his win back at Talladega in race number 1. James Molyneux now into pit lane, as is Jeff Rhyne. Joey Cruz moving up now into 4th, trying to do anything and everything they can to gap in between him and Robert Kenny. He may still need more, as Jack Stoneman, I think, is reserved to just slowly sliding back here and just making sure he gets it to the end. He's going to have company here on the outside by Joe Sullivan, as Sullivan is going to make the pass here and move himself up into 5th position. Good run for Sullivan here. Top running gold driver here tonight. But right now, looks like nobody is catching Tommy Rhyne out front. Good run for the 66, exactly when he needed it. And Cody Hemingway bouncing back. Remember not too long ago when we had that caution, we had everything mixed up kind of right in the middle of this race. We said, oh, well, we got 2 platinum drivers at 1st and 2nd, and we got another one at 13th and 17th. Well, that 13th is now in 3rd, and the 17th is now leading. So it is definitely shaking up big time here. And the other platinum drivers falling back, trying to save fuel. And I know, Jimmy, sometimes, like you mentioned, drivers are not happy and argue about fuel mileage races, but really this isn't a fuel mileage race. We have a ton of drivers that pit on lap number 61, 62. They made it as far as they need to go, and they can run this thing out, and that's where you're seeing those drivers towards the front right now. Unfortunately for the other ones, maybe expecting a caution late here, have not gotten it, and coming back to the line this time. White flag in the air. Next flag is going to end it. White flag, one more lap around Texas for Tommy Rhyne, as he has got a 2-second lead over Grady Gherkin. Keep an eye on your other platinum drivers, see if any of them run out of fuel. It is a 13-second gap in between Stoneman and Elwood, but you see Stoneman very, very slow through 1 and 2. Can he make it to the end here? Out of the final corner, Tommy Rhyne, your winner here at Texas, locks himself into the championship. Grady Gherkin coming home in 2nd. Cody Hemingway will lock himself in with a third place finish as well. Joey Cruz up into 4th. Joe Sullivan in 5th. Stoneman is gonna make it to the line, and that'll be enough. Alan Elwood, defending champion and most wins on the season, is not going to make the championship round. A big shock right there. We'll take a look at all the other point standings before we get to the end of this thing. But I mean, what a race here! Once again, Tommy Rhyne figures out the right strategy. He's got the speed, and he gets himself a win. And you got to take a look here. I'm not sure if that was actually his first win. Yeah. First win of the season, Jimmy. No better time to do it than to lock yourself into the playoffs or into the championship.
Yeah, it's just, obviously just take the time. The Cardinals fell right tonight for the 66, finding himself, on the top spot of the podium. So Northern Tool Equipment 66 getting it done here tonight. Then Grady Gherkin, we're pickled and always tries and always can, finishing in 2nd. Cody Hemingway with a great run and a comeback, finishing in 3rd. Joey Cruz gets a great finish there in 4th. Joe Sullivan in 5th. Josh Van Westen in 6th, and JP Phillips will finish in 7th, with Robert Kenny in 8th and Russell Black back in 9th. Dan Phelps finished in the top 10, and then Jack Stoneman stretching it out just enough fuel to finish in 11th over Tyler Skozen in 12th, Alan Elwood in 13th, Kelly Pointer will finish in 14th, James Molyneux in 15th, Jon Crain finishes in 16th, but I don't think it's enough. Chad Coleman in 17th, Jack Loesch in 18th, Jeff Rhyne all the way back in 19th, but already locked in, so not really too worried about just showing up here tonight. Jeremy Gainey finishing in 20th, Daltin Drummonds back at 21st, Terry Jansen in 22nd, and Luis Orduna not making the field here tonight, but just to shout him out as our 23rd driver here in the field.
Yeah, taking a look at the standings as they are running and trying to just get everything set up here. But I mean, fantastic run for these drivers, and really, it was one caution or two cautions here. I think it was only one caution that set this thing out, and it really came at a kind of a funky time with the pit cycle, and ended up playing out absolutely beautiful for some of them. And looking at the point standings, very, very close. JP Phillips unofficially gonna miss the cut by 3 points to Kelly Pointer in the gold. In the silver, again, unofficially 4 points. Joey Cruz not gonna make the silver championship. And then in the silver, unfortunately, Jon Crain got bested by Dan Phelps. So looks like unofficially your playoff drivers are going to be Tommy Rhyne, Jack Stoneman, Cody Hemingway in the platinum. In the gold, it's going to be Jake Loesch, Joe Sullivan, Kelly Pointer. In the silver, it'll be Jeff Rhyne, Josh Van Westen, and Robert Kenny. And then in the bronze, it'll be Daltin Drummonds, Jeremy Gainey, and Dan Phelps. But again, all that's unofficial. We'll let you know officially, obviously, by next week. Unfortunately, our man that normally is in the race and normally helps us out with the points, not out here tonight at his son's basketball game. I guess it's more important. I guess family's more important.
Not a basketball game to go to.
Sometimes. But either way, great run for everybody out there. Want to send a shout out to all of the fans out there in CRN Nation. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. It gets you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsor here for the series as well, Kim's Cups and More, as they are your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs. Whether it's a custom 20-ounce tumbler to fill with your favorite post-race beverage, a 40-ounce glitter tumbler for your morning coffee. I'm sure Tommy Rhyne may need a 40-ounce glitter tumbler after this one, after you're up all night celebrating that win. Or custom clothing apparel with your favorite team, sponsor, or maybe your favorite broadcasters. Jimmy.
Quick.
A custom license plate for your everyday ride. Even mouse pad to help you out. Rearrange that pesky new UI. You can choose from already created products or have them custom made to your liking, whatever your pleasure. Kim's Cups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Cups with a K and More. Let's go ahead and get our top drivers in here for their well-deserved interviews here tonight. And definitely going to start off with a man that was probably maybe sweating it a little bit here mid-race, as we'll bring in Cody Hemingway. Cody, mid-race, I forget if you were in 13th at the time, he was in 17th or vice versa, but you guys were up in the top 4 for the first run. Then all of a sudden, you know, the pit cycle changes. You guys decide to come into the pits. You're buried back there in the pack. You guys did work your way through the field, but, you know, at that point in the race, were you sweating it a little bit? Were you looking at where everybody was? You know, kind of what was going on through your head?
Well, that was honestly just kind of a desperation move, to be honest. I didn't have the pace, didn't have the, you know, the consistency with the tire fall off that, you know, the guys up front had. Alan was doing a great job. Stoneman was doing a great job. Even Rhyne, you know, he, you know, flew up to the field and then drove away from me. So I knew fuel mileage would have been like a pretty good attempt at trying to out strategize the race. And I hope it played off. I don't know if I made it into the final race or not.
You did. You did, indeed. Yeah, it was definitely close.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in, you and Elwood were tied on points, and because of Elwood finishing back there in 13th, you're going to get the third spot here in the platinum.
Awesome, that's great news.
Well, listen, it was very interesting to see this thing kind of ebb and flow all throughout the night, let alone through the playoffs. We got you a little bit low on the mic right now. I wanted to see if you can get it up there a little bit before you give your shout-outs and your thanks here for tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's been a great season. You know, all the competitors have been awesome as far as, you know, sportsmanship, to race with respect, at least around me. I hope I've raced everybody else with respect, and you guys have done awesome broadcasts, awesome interviews, great attitude, you know. So yeah, I appreciate it. I want to thank you guys, thank the drivers, thank my wife, my daughters, and that's it.
All right, well, I appreciate it, buddy. You get some rest, celebrate this one a little bit, and then get ready for that season finale at Auto Club next week, because I'm sure you're going to have some stiff competition. It's one race battle for you guys.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you, guys.
That's your third place finisher here tonight. The 010 of Cody Hemingway, getting it done enough to get himself into that Platinum Championship. Second place here tonight, and a little bit of spoiler, but the little pickle that could coming home in second place.
Great. Hey, Jimmy Carl, the booth guy.
What's going on, Jimmy?
Hey, buddy, it's good to hear you back up here in the booth. Long time no talk, it seems like. But, the 46 has always been a car that I keep my eye on. Obviously, Barry out there rooting for you as well. But you walk away tonight in second place. Give us a rundown of your race tonight, buddy.
Yeah, it actually went pretty smooth, pretty good. It was fun to have the green flag pit stops, a couple cycles with that. That was nice. It's just kind of fun to see where you come out and merge back into positions and everything. Just a good, clean race, trying to be patient with the car. And, of course, we had to manage the fuel, so we were watching that. The end there, I really thought I had it. And then I've seen that sight before, that old 66 creeping up on me. And I didn't have any fuel to fight him. Otherwise, I would have raced him a little harder. But now, all in all, it was a pretty good night.
Yeah, definitely a unique race, obviously with the caution in the beginning stages, falling in a kind of a unique cycle there. And, I was surprised that some drivers stayed out and didn't come in, and like the whole field didn't come in to make sure that they would make it or have an easier time with just one more stop the rest of the way. But you made it work here tonight. It fell into your favor. You are up 12 spots, so you are the biggest mover of the race as well. So just want to say congratulations on that second place finish, man, and give you a little bit of time for any shouts you may have.
Well, thank you. Definitely shout out to you guys as always. Shout out to everybody watching, especially Barry. That's really cool. He pulls for us just about every week, so I really appreciate that. That's cool to see. And definitely a happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Just want to thank them.
Oh, we really appreciate it, man. Thanks for putting on a great race here tonight, and it was fantastic to watch. Good to talk to you again, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thanks. You guys have a good night.
Yes, sir.
That's your second place finisher here tonight, the 46 of Grady Gherkin. Almost playing the spoiler, almost the spoiled pickle that could. But tonight it is
sour pickle.
Yeah, but it would have made some drivers sour out there. But Tommy Rhyne getting it done with the win here tonight, locks himself into the championship round. I mean, just needed a good finish. Regardless, would have got you in there. But I think maybe, I'm guessing you had a little bit of edge. You're not just going to let Jeff come in here and be the only Ryan that gets a playoff win, let alone the only Ryan that got a win all season. You waited till almost the last race to finally crack through here this season.
Yeah, I know, man. That's it's pretty crazy. That was pretty nerve-wracking tonight because this thing burns a lot of fuel, man. And every chance I got, I tried to top it off. And that's really that one caution where Allen stayed out and I pitted. That was pretty much the race-winning move right there.
Yeah, and me and Jimmy were talking about that right when it happened. When you guys are coming towards pit lane, I'm like, do you have to come in right here? I know you can stay out, you can try and make this happen, but I almost feel like it was a have to pit kind of situation. Maybe just coming in, topping off on fuel. You don't need tires, but coming in, topping off, and it ended up being the winning strategy for you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a caution could have failed and things would have been completely different. So you just don't know how it's going to play out. So you take a chance, you end up starting in the very back and then just running your race, and the thing went green, and here we are. I mean, it could have easily gone the other way. I just chose the right path. Doesn't happen a lot of times, but got it done this time.
Well, talk about the race at the end there, because we mentioned in the broadcast so many times we've seen that 66 and 46 do battles here, UCRL. What was it like coming up on Grady there towards the end?
I was like, I don't know, does he got enough gas? How hard is he going to run? And pretty much I thought I kind of saw him kind of start taking off. I was like, okay, so he's on the same, strategy I was on. And then as soon as I got around him, I heard him cut the thing off, and I was like, oh, he's short on fuel too. But yeah, Grady's always a blast to run around. He's real clean. We've actually met at a racetrack before, and it's all good, man. It's good competitors. It's some of these guys are a little scary, but majority of them, it's it's they're fun to race around.
So as you were coming up on Gritty there at the end, did you have it in mind? You know, all I got to do is finish decent here. I don't need to push hard for the win. If it's given to me, I'll take it. But you know, were you a little bit more conservative than normal, or were you just running your own race?
At that point, I was a half a lap to the good, so I was just running my own race, and I was just praying there wouldn't be a caution because that would mix the whole bag up. Because I know there were guys that were not only short on fuel, but they had a set lay-in, and I didn't. I had bolted on my last set of tires, and I had what I had. So it's just pure luck, man, because you never know when that yellow is going to hit. This place is plenty wide enough, but I saw guys being in the wall, you know, just wall riding, just getting in there and just couldn't get it off there or whatever. But just a couple scary moments as I was cruising up through there. But overall, great race. Had a lot of fun, especially when you win. It's a lot of fun.
Of course.
And I mean, Alan was gonna, you know, he had probably the quickest car, but you know, you just don't know how these things are going to fall.
No, exactly. Well, now you know how it did fall for the playoffs. You know your competitors that you're going against. You're going against Cody Hemingway and Jack Stoneman. I mean, this Platinum division all season has been a gauntlet. It's been extremely hard to get into the top 5, and now even harder as we have our defending champion and most wins in the season, Alan Elwood, not even making the final 3 here tonight. You're one of them, and you're going up against Hemingway and Stoneman. One race shootout at Auto Club. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's not my favorite place to go race. You know how
many damn times we hear it from all your racers out there. Oh, that's a track we're going to. Oh, it's not a good track for me. I don't believe that crap anymore.
Well, I promise you. Well, I'm going to do a little homework and be prepared when I get there. But typically, it's just not my place. If when I see that on the schedule, I go, oh man, that's going to be a boring ass race. But it's not, you know, the field or whatever. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. I'll say that.
Well, it's definitely me and Jimmy's. We love the 3, 4, 5 different lines that you guys can run in both the corners. It really kind of spreads everybody out. Usually ends up leading to a lot of green flag racing, but a little bit longer this season as well. Normally, you know, about like a 60, 70 lap race, but this season, 100 laps for the season finale. Do you feel like that helps your chances? Do you feel like it hurts it? I know you're used to running a little bit longer races, especially back in the UCRL days.
Well, you know, it's the longer races just create more chances of making mistakes on pit road, more chances to be caught a lap down on pit road when a yellow flies or something like that. So you just got to, you know, don't beat yourself. You got to go in there and run your race and don't do anything stupid. And as long as you knew that, I mean, the rest of it is what it is. You know, you can only control what you can control.
Well, and it's one thing we did see a lot here tonight. We've seen a lot of mistakes entering pit road, a lot of black flags. Just kind of getting back to tonight's race, what do you think it was, you know, entering the pit road here? We've seen probably a good 10 black flags entering pit road tonight.
Well, I think before iRacing, before we did a graphic update and maybe a rescan, that pit road commitment line was a lot further away. It was closer to the first pit stall. Now it's pretty much as soon as you come off the banking and you hit a flat, it's right there. And I don't even think there's a cone over there. So I had some teammates of mine, every one of them got a black flag, and they were like, no, it's really close. Yeah. And if you saw my first pit stall, I had to lock the thing up and spun it out.
Sideways, yep.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I knew you guys, I was there thinking, I didn't say this to them, I said, I knew you guys said it was close, but holy cow.
Well, you did keep it clean, and you got your way all the way to the front here, and you joined your brother as a playoff winner here. You got your first win at the right time. Lock yourself into the playoffs. So I want to wish you good luck next week for that Platinum Championship. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, my sponsor, Northern Tool and Equipment, and Jameson Custom Corvette, and obviously the series sponsor, Kim's Cups, Kim's Cake Cups. Is that right?
Yep. Kim's Cups with a K.
don't be-
Yep.
Kim's Cups with a
Listen,
K.
every time we interview you, you're getting better at this, so it's good. It's good. Start with Kim's Cupcakes. You're getting a lot better.
I don't. I can't. I mean, I'm just like, I can't believe I can't remember that again. That's so crazy. Anyway, appreciate it, and thanks, Carl, putting everything on, and it's been a blast.
It's certainly been a blast for us as well in the booth. It's been fun, and it's almost a shame that it's coming down and only one race to go. But I know you guys are going to put on a heck of a show at Auto Club, whether you think it's boring or not. We're going to enjoy it. So good luck out there next week, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again.
All right, man. Thanks.
That's your winner here tonight, and one of the Platinum playoff drivers for next week. Once again, championship finale is on the horizon, less than 7 days away at this point, as we're going to gear up for that 100 laps at Auto Club to decide it all for the Platinum, the Gold, the Silver, and the Bronze. But you're going to have to tune in next week and find out who's going to claim those 4 championships and who's going to be the top spot there at Auto Club. As me and Jimmy are already giddy about it. Let's be honest. But it was fun here tonight. This was a great playoff round and a great race here at Texas under the lights. And we've seen some really good strategy end up paying off at the end. I want to thank our sponsors here once again, Kim's Cups and More. I want to thank all the fans out there in Sierra Nation, but for myself and Jimmy here from the penultimate race at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the track.